This is positive and negative. Now, granted, it's so easy for everybody to say just positive, positive, positive. Leave everything else alone. Don't look at it. Don't study it. Don't think about it. Well, it's the love affair between positive and negative. It's that little kiss, when they try to come together and they start whirling and twirling because they're not going to make that connection, but it doesn't stop them from trying. That whirling and twirling creates these little cones right here, and at the center of that cone, as a matter of fact, that's where you're sitting right now, is at the center of one of those. That's called a vortex. That's what spins atoms into being. That's what spins creation into being. Now of course, the Father, Keter, keep in mind, above all, Keter, but down here we're given the closest we can. All these symbols have different symbols, but Keter has the circle. Closest we have to that down here is the way that has been given, which is the solar plexus, or the Son of God, however you want to call it. And don't let me mix up that I'm denying the sun and the flesh. I'm telling you, everything is told. These stories are told in plants. They're told in nature. It's told geometrically. It's told mathematically. It's told in books. It's told in movies. It's the same story over and over and over. At the heart of every circle, at the heart of every sphere is that little dot in the center. That's where the eternal, they're saying X marks the spot. Interesting enough, look at my this is my birth chart. Look what's right in the center of that, the X. And I was born in the letter Mem, and that's the shape right here is forming the letter Mem, because that's Malkuth, which is 4, but it's also the X, and I have a little trinity going on right there also over the house. It's like a house right there, but that X is the spot. It's the spark of divinity in all things. And when you mark that in the center of the circle, what is that? That's an eternal being. Now you're saying that's just a number. That's called pi. Yes, but when you have an eternal being and it is going to be translated into a number, I'm not saying it's the real actual thing, but when it's translated down into a number, it's going to keep the same essence, the same nature. That is why at the center of the circle you have an eternal number. You have 3.1415926535897932384 6264338327950288419 7169399375105. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's eternal. What is that? What do you think that's telling you? It's speaking to you. So when I'm saying things are, like this is the solar plexus, the Son of God. When I'm saying the Son, this time in this aspect, I'm referring to the Sun, literally, like what gives you body warmth. This is the center of you right here, your solar plexus. People really need to learn about this in the West, because this is in everything. This is in a fly. This is why I'm not going to swat a fly. You want me to swat a fly? I'm not, because I'm not going to swat that. That is what I'm swatting at when I'm swatting a fly. You want me to squash an ant? I'm not, because then I'm squashing that too. Everything is this tree of life. Everything in creation. There's nothing but tree of life walking around everywhere, everybody. And that's why they say the middle pillar is the way home, because when somebody becomes what they call double-headed, when they have such a perfect balance between each side, that is when you start forming this middle pillar in a person, and that is when you start returning to 26, and that is when you start returning to the name, Yod He Vav He. It goes back to 26, and it's all tied in together. I wish I really had time to do the lesson I had got together for you on how to use Kabbalah, but I'm not going to do that because I want to refer to you. There's so much disinformation about what the Kabbalah even is. So I just want to point out that when you're going from Hebrew or Greek to English, there's things in here that don't translate. For example, one thing that just I love when I see the word heaven in Hebrew, because it's saying shamayim. That's like saying fire water, and of course you're talking spiritual fire water. That's way more descriptive to me than heaven. Heaven was just a word I can never really grasp. Shamayim, I can grab that. It's something I can hold on to. And of course, I mean something I can hold on to in my mind. I'm not trying to be that tangible. When you're translating things, like in here, there's chapters where it's like saying it'd be like in English if the first verse started A, the second verse started with the letter B, the third verse started with letter C, the fourth verse with D. That doesn't translate when you're translating. Things like that become lost. And so Kabbalah is a way of just a way of looking back into that, going back, undoing things that were done. But that doesn't mean the pillars are lost. That is where I want to make sure nobody's mistaking me for saying that. You're not losing out on the pillars of faith. The pillars of faith are getting in the written law. Then there's the Mishnah, which is the law passed ear to ear among the priests. Then there's the Kabbalah. So, and that's part of the original Bible. A lot of people don't really want to accept that. They want to say, no, you're talking two different things. No, because the people that wrote the first scriptures, as far as the Hebrew goes, I'm not talking about the Septuagint and all that stuff. I'm not talking about the Greeks and all that. But when you get into this, the people that wrote it knew very well there was the Torah, the written law, the Mishnah, the unwritten law, and then the Kabbalah, the secret law, however you want to look at it. They're all tied together, though. They're not one against each other. They're not opposed to another, and it's definitely not another religion. How could you're studying the Bible? It's just another way of studying it, another way of looking at it. And the relations you get in there are meant to keep you busy and meant to feed the Western Hemisphere your brain, which is the CSI, investigative, loving to do things. If you don't feed it with stuff like Kabbalah and interesting relations, and because it does require a lot of your brain when you get into Kabbalah, it gets very holographic. You have to uphold many things at one time just to keep the string of thoughts you're on, and it's rewarding. It can be nice, and when you feel like your brain gets stressed out, you pull out of it, and you just say a prayer and thanks. And it's a way of avoiding TV. It's a way of avoiding movies. And I see people, they say, nah, I'm not into that. I just like to read the Word when I can. But then, they're going to get distracted a lot by the world. They're going to get distracted by little things. They might find themselves in front of a TV watching something that's just totally going to take their mind off of this stuff. This is a way of keeping your mind focused. And also, it's, I don't like to use the word entertaining, but it is entertaining. It's really hard to say it's not. The relations and the things you find are amazing. It's just golden threads going through all kinds of things, and so it's really worth it. I just want to make sure people are understanding that about Kabbalah. It's not a Madonna thing, and I don't understand how people could say it's a religion. I'm not sure if they are saying that, but I've heard that insinuated. So I'm glad I could share that with you today. I'm glad I could pronounce the Holy Tetragrammaton for you the best I know how. Let me see. I guess the one thing I forgot to mention was Yod He Wow He, which is Yahweh. When it became Yahweh, you got to remember too, this became a Vav, so it became Yehovah. And then when you did the English to Latin translation, people that are grown up Spanish or Latin and they're translating to English, they have a hard time translating the Y. If you tell them to say yes, they say Jess. Say yes, Jess. They have a hard time making that Y sound. It always turns into a J. So the Latin translations is where the Y became Jehovah, J, and that's where it all came into being. And believe it or not, the Eye of Providence is another way of concealing the name. A lot of people say, well, the name was changed. Another way you can conceal it was with a triangle with a Yod, and another way you can conceal that is with a triangle with an eye there. So, believe it or not, these are all like protective lids over the name. And just remember what I was saying about the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere, your brains. They're keeping things precious, keeping things set apart, and holy is not over saying them, not overusing them, because then they slide into the Western Hemisphere brain, and that's throwing precious information to the dogs of your brain, because that's your investigative side. That's the side that can just use way too much logic and intellect to just rip anything precious apart. It's not really the better half of your brain to be forming opinions on. It's a nice place to investigate things, but form opinions, in meditation in your heart and stuff like that. That's where you want to go to form really solid opinions on things. Alright, thank you, for watching this one. Thanks everybody for your responses on the first videos. That's the whole reason I made this one for you, is because of all those responses. And I hope everyone has a good day, and just remember, love first, love last. Start with love, end with love, and all will be good. Thank you.